What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. OG here, and we have less than a day until the brand new UFL, as they're calling it, UFL season 25-26. So silly. They should have just called the season or the new game, whatever, UFL 26. It's that easy, right? Because they have their new seasons 1, 2, 3, 4 within the game, right? And each new season has a team pass. So why call the actual big update season 25-26? It just, whatever, it is what it is. Strikers tends to do both silly things that are kind of small and whatever you can get past, and then big things that are hard to not bash them for. But nonetheless, we will progress through this, and I'm going to try to keep the bashing on the minimum so you guys can understand what to expect from this new game starting at 5 a.m. Usually their updates end at about 3 a.m. This one, it says 5 a.m. Central Standard Time. It could go a little over, a little under that, a little earlier, a little later. But either way, around 5 a.m. Central Standard Time, you will be able to get in and play this new version of UFL. First things first, Showdown has changed, but they pretty much did this with all the releases. Each one of these was a bunch of words that could have been summarized in like one sentence. All that matters from this is that the premium subscription thing, which was silly, so I'm glad they removed it, that's gone. Now, if you win 3 games in Showdown, you automatically qualify for the next weekend's Showdown with tokens, right? You'll get enough with 3 wins. If you don't win 3 games in Showdown, then I guess you have to earn them through, the divisions or whatever, and then you can get in. But that's literally all this is about, this entire thing. That's the Showdown update. No more premium nonsense. You just automatically get in with tokens at 3 wins from the previous weekend, or you got to earn 60 tokens in divisions, which they didn't even say that. I'm just assuming, right? So very small amount of information with a lot of words. That's how all of these different releases were. Honestly, all these that we went over was just a bunch of words to describe, little tiny bits of pertinent information. But with that being said, let's get into the actual notes for this brand new UFL, which it's extremely important considering the gameplay is awful. If somehow Strikers produces good gameplay, everyone will ignore the fact that they just scrapped their skin system to copy the original Ultimate Team from EA Sports. No one will care. Everyone will be fine with that because it is a good mode, to be fair. They just didn't come up with their own thing. They're introducing it as if it's new, as if this chemistry system's new. It's all a copy. But if the gameplay's good, that's all that matters. If the gameplay continues as it is at this moment, like if you turn on UFL right now and play, you probably won't even last a game. And even the players that somehow stuck through this nonsense this long, even they are saying it's bad. And they stuck through this game, which means that they have high tolerance for terrible football. But if Strikers pulls off a miracle and produces a good game, which we're about to read these notes, see what we think, then you never know. Maybe EAFC finds a competitor where they least expected it, because at this point, I'm sure many were just looking at eFootball and their big update as the only competitor, and Konami just totally botched the new update over there. I mean, that game is in ruins as far as anybody who wants to play a realistic, skill-based football game, right? By realistic, I mean just, the success is based on actual football, and as opposed to broken mechanics, just nonsense that they use to, I guess, keep lower skilled players in the game. Whatever reasons they have for taking the game in the direction Konami took eFootball, who knows, but it's god-awful. So let's see if UFL is going to manage to compete with FC26, which, having played the beta, I can assure you it's going to be a great game. So UFL is really going to have to, Strikers will really have to put in some work if they want to compete with FC26. So, new meta mechanics, player cards, general entity changes. Players have been replaced with player cards. Player cards cannot be upgraded and do not have their energy deducted. See, it's just little stupid stuff. I just don't understand. Changes, the skin entity is no longer active. We already know. Unopened skin, we know they're going to turn to in-game currency. We get it. Player experience, the mechanic has been fully removed. XP will be converted to preserve the value of prior investment. When legacy players are converted into the new card format, legacy players are who you already had prior to this, right? The skin era players. Their rating and stats will be reset to transfer market values, but all pre-assigned and upgraded skills will be preserved. So listen to that. Your 97 Mbappe will be reset to his base level, but his new skills that you earned along the way, you'll keep them. So that's okay, I guess. You still lose all the time you put in to boost them up, rating-wise, but you don't lose all the time and effort you spent to get him the skills that he has and whatever other players you did this for, which at this point, everyone playing the game fully boosted all their players. So now their ratings go all the way back down to base value, but they keep those whatever skills you had. That's what will make your base players unique from others because, not everyone chose the same skills. Player without a skin applied, basic card with base stats, can be sold for CP. Player with a skin, basic card with base stats, and the active skin. All bonuses from the skin are preserved, can be sold for CP or particles. So you can sell all of your grandfathered in players, if you will, or what they're calling legacy players. Skin, basic card of the footballer with the skin and its bonuses can be sold. So you can just sell all of your stuff that you're carrying over for in-game currency. That's all that is. All skills pre-assigned as well as upgraded are preserved. That is actually cool. I didn't know. I thought they erased new skills you added, but they didn't. Card tiers. You have basic. Standard versions tradable on the transfer market for CP. Your starter squad is built from basic cards. Mastery 1 through 4. Enhanced cards from packs. Mastery 4 will be released later. So I'm assuming they'll release Mastery 1 through 3. Legends. Cards of outstanding footballers who have concluded their careers. So retired players, basically. Like, we know this. With high collector value. The first legend will be introduced in version 0.67. So we're getting one legend only. That kind of sucks. They should have done a group of them, or kind of like FC does. The new legends come in. They don't do it one at a time. They'll do some later on, or like how they did Beckenbauer or the Roma Trio in EAFC. You can look up how that went. But we get one on the initial release. Okay, cool. And then you have legacy cards. Those are the ones that we're bringing from the skin era, let's call it, right? So basic are the ones you'll see in the transfer market right away, the free agent, stuff like that. Mastery, the enhanced cards, obviously legends, the retired players, the Ronaldos, the Ibrahimoviches, whoever. And then legacy, the ones we bring over. That's what makes them different from basic, is we brought them over from the skin era of the game. Skills no longer level up through experience. Skills vary depending on the card tier, from none on base cards to extended sets on legends. So any card you have from the transfer market will have no skills. Interesting. Then they have more if they're legends. Skills now have 2 levels. You have a basic level, so playstyle plus, right? Like I said, a complete copy off of FC. That's all it is. It's just in some areas they don't go above FC. They actually are either the exact replica of Ultimate Team or like an older version without certain things, right? Which is why the gameplay has to be good. Otherwise, people will just say, why play a knockoff version when I could play the real thing with better on the pitch football? Top 500 footballers have been rebalanced in terms of stats and rating. Link up, we already know. That's just a chemistry system, right? That's all it is. Player card, place out nation. Okay, link up is determined by player positioning within the formation. The more shared attributes footballers have with connected links, the higher the link up score. Each player's link up score ranges from 0 to 3. Again, we know this, right? Club management, footballers available in the transfer market can only be purchased for CP. We know all this. Packs, we know all this. See, it's a bunch of words for typical, like, common sense if you played the game. If you're brand new, good, read through all this. But if you've played UFL, you literally don't really need to read most of this. Repeatable challenges, cool. Adidas Throwback Team Pass. Duration. So it goes from September 12th to October 2nd. Loads of exciting content, challenge, and rewards. That tells us a lot. Throwback Team Pass. Either they're going to do like what they did on Season 1 of the original UFL, in which case that's dumb unless you're brand new. Or maybe Adidas Throwback, this would be cool, but it's probably not this, would be like throwback kits and throwback old school Adidas stuff. That would be cool, but what it most likely is going to be copy and pasted from the Season 1 Adidas Team Pass. Divisions reset. All players will be reassigned based on their final rank. Bronze 6 is Bronze 6. Other divisions, Bronze 5. Players will receive a reward for joining their new division and rewards for lower divisions. Ranked season rewards will be distributed based on the final division at the end of the season. Listen to this. Bronze 6 stays in Bronze 6, but if you're in any other division, you go to Bronze 5. So everybody restarts. Pretty much. You just either start in Bronze 6 or 5. Why not just start everyone at Bronze 6 then? This is what I mean by Strikers just earns, the right to be bashed. You get what I'm saying? Not the biggest deal, but what is the point of that? Right? If you're a Premier Division player and you got to go all the way to where you're just one division above the lowest, a bronze player that couldn't win, like that's silly. But they're just going to create a situation where there's going to be a lot of lopsided games to start off, which is kind of how UFL goes anyway, because let's be honest, the most skilled players aren't really playing this game. So if you are a skilled player, if anybody remembers when I started my second account, for instance, I mean, the way I climbed through the ranks was almost ridiculous. It was about 100 times easier than divisions 10 through 6 in FC, which are pretty easy. Now we get into the bread and butter, the make or break notes that will determine, before we even step foot on the pitch, if we think, because we could always be wrong, but I consider myself pretty good at this point, especially for UFL. From the beginning, I've been reading these update notes, and unfortunately, Strikers many times is vague, and then they underdeliver and try to oversell, but they just don't do a very good job of overselling, right? And I will be completely honest with you based on what I see here. The bottom line is they made a huge mistake releasing a skin system that was a dead-end system. And whether they didn't know or they knew and they still released it, either way it's bad. If they knew and they still released it, well, then it was a scam. They stole everyone's money, selling skin packs all the way up to just about the time they shut it down, the skin system, knowing that the skin system was going away, still trying to take people's money. And if they didn't know, people are going to say, you were in production for like 8+ years. And with this much time into the game, you still release this system and couldn't tell, you didn't do a run through, you didn't see, okay, wait, this way that we're ranking up players and adding skills and adding skins, this isn't going to last long. You couldn't tell, so we had to waste our time and effort trusting that you guys knew what you were doing. So you get what I'm saying. Either way, it doesn't look good. So if they don't just totally knock this out of the park to where people are like, dude, UFL Strikers, it's incredible. I don't know what Strikers changed, but kind of like EA Sports with FC26. The beta came out to rave reviews, which many betas, it's the same thing as the previous game. It's like a new soundtrack, a new kits, and that's it. But this beta, I couldn't put it down. Many people felt the same way. It's a total overhaul. All the BS that the low-skill ratty players are using all these years, like it's been several years that EA Sports has been going in this crappy direction. All of it's gone. I mean, they went one topic after the other based on feedback from the player base. And that has been the theme for EA Sports on this next release, right? So that's just an idea of what UFL is competing with. If they don't knock it out of the park, players are just going to spend the money and play FC. Because it's clear that Strikers is going to want you to spend money to get these legendary players, to boost your players up, right? It's just now instead of skins, you're adding skills and trying to get the better players. It's still no open transfer market where you can earn, in-game currency through being a good trader like in FC. It's nothing like that. You either play the game and use the cards that I guess they give you through rewards and whatnot, or you put your money in and you buy extra packs and players and whatnot. So let's see what this gameplay is going to look like. Off the ball movement, improved animation, blending, and motion smoothness. Let me read that again. Improved animation blending and motion smoothness. Okay, there you go. Increased responsiveness when turning. Movements are now sharper and more natural. Okay. Dribble run. Improved responsiveness when using the left stick. Movements are now more precise and predictable. Improved movement fluidity. The agility attribute has been adjusted to have a greater impact on responsiveness. Okay. I like all this. Now, what I wish they did that EA Sports does a great job with, and I think Konami doesn't do it. Konami doesn't even give you updates. The whole time I was playing, any updates they added, you had to play the game afterwards and kind of guess. It's like big updates, I guess they would release little tidbits, but EA Sports does the best at releasing video footage of what they fixed and better descriptions as well. Strikers is always vague, and that's what isn't good about it, is because you read this and they don't, okay, you improve this, how? Oh, it's sharper. What does that look like? Right? I wish they did that, but so far the words are good. However, that's the case many times. And again, Strikers has a bad tendency to oversell with these vague, descriptions of what's being fixed and underdeliver. Sometimes some of these things don't even, you can't even tell if they're fixed or not in the game, and if they are fixed, it's fixed in quotations. It's like you improved it a little, but it needs a lot more work. So let's hope that's not the case. But moving into passing, ground pass. The passer will aim towards the foot furthest from the nearest opponent, or choose a trajectory clear of defenders. The passer will aim toward the foot furthest from the opponent. Okay, so if there's an opponent to your right, that would mean your teammate will try to pass to your left foot, because that's the foot furthest from the opponent defending you. So that makes sense, but I wish they would get rid of their auto pass connect, right? That feeling where you can just ping the pass button, spam it, and the ball automatically connects to your player. Like when you clear the ball, you don't have to really clear, you just press X, because you know the pass, no matter how far, no matter what angle, it will go to your teammate. No, it needs to be more about power and aiming, placing the pass, choosing the right type of pass, and then stats comes into it. But that's why passing has always been almost irrelevant in this game, because it's just an auto connect. Even on through balls, that's why they're so messed up. Even if you're trying to play a through ball and the defender's there, you might have an open angle, but the pass like auto connects, almost like a magnet, to either your player, or if the opponent's in the way, to the opponent. They're saying now, looks like that auto connect on passes is still there, but at least they'll try to pass it away from the opponent. Hopefully that works with through balls. Driven ground pass, the power now more accurately reflects button hold duration. There you go. Now your power matters more. Lob through pass, players with high passing stats will now execute more accurate passes. Okay, that's brilliant. And then lower stat players should make more mistakes. That would be cool if you added that. Updated running style animations for CR7, Messi, De Bruyne, Mbappe, and Haaland. Didn't they already do that, though? I thought they already did that. But either way, chip shot. Players with high shooting attributes can now more easily chip a charging keeper. The presence, yeah, because in UFL, the chips are terrible. They go right at the keeper. FC's chips are excellent, especially compared to UFL. The presence of a nearby opponent will negatively impact chip shot performance. Okay, so that's kind of silly. I mean, if they're nearby, I get it a bit, but hopefully they do that realistically. I'll just say that. The composure attribute now influences chip shot effectiveness, helping mitigate the debuff from nearby opponents. Good, yeah. That should be for any shot. Hopefully that's for any shot, not just chip shot. It's funny how it's just chip shot, they explained it for. But the composure, should matter for, when defenders are pressing them or are, threatening to come and block the shot or steal the ball or whatever. That's composure should come in for every shot. Goalkeeper, improved reaction to shots on goal during free kicks, improved positioning on crosses, improved positioning during automatic rushes, improved goalkeeper behavior and reaction to chip shots, fixed goalkeeper reaction to shots going off target. All right, well, again, we'll just have to see about a lot of this. Nothing that I'm looking at going, great, this is going to make everything better. This is going to make it a good game if this really is how it plays. I'll let you know if there's anything like that, but so far it's just, run-of-the-mill stuff. Updated how the interception skill affects passive interception range for players with lower stats. Updated how the interception skill affects passive interception range. I like that, so maybe, but I'm assuming it's still going to be those goofy passes, kind of like animation-based instead of your aim, your skill. But now, like players with lower interception stats, maybe like the ball will bypass them now instead of locking onto them. Whereas if it's a higher rated defender, the ball's more likely to magnet towards them instead of like a through ball to your player. I don't know. We'll have to see. Trivela fast chip shot. That's like that new, like I said, that's exactly what it says. They just took certain skills and dribbles and shots and sped him up, slowed him down, made a defender dive wider, and called those updated skills. Overlapping threat, CM defense support, and air defense. Those are all skills. Added new passive skills. So those are added new functional skills. Trivella. So now there isn't a Trivella shot in the game. And outside of the foot shot, good. So that's a functional skill. And then there's new passive skills. And I talked about basic and gold, which is basically, basic is like the playstyle. Playstyle plus would be gold. But passive skills are basic shot accuracy, finesse shot accuracy, basic shot power, free kick power, finesse long shot accuracy, sliding tackle, standing tackle, pressing, headshot. If you know, you know. Ground pass accuracy, through ball accuracy, lob pass accuracy, set piece jumping, dribbling, passing composure, diving against basic shots, handling against skilled shots, reflexes against finesse shots. I like that more detailed. I like it. So wait, added new passive skills. Added new functional. So these are now going to have a numeric value assigned to them. Like stats, I believe. But they call them skills here. We'll have to see. Interesting how detailed they get here, though. I'm never going to be mad at details. Fix an issue where long passes struck at max power were too fast. Fix an issue where long passes struck at max power were too fast. Fix an issue where players wouldn't engage in aerial duels. Fix an issue where a player could slide across the pitch after the referee's whistle. Okay. The AI assist. Let's see what happens here. Adjusted overall movement logic for AI control players. They will now use sprinting more situationally and naturally. Improved attacking player behavior when in the shooting path of a teammate. They will now attempt to move out of the way earlier. Significantly reworked defensive bot behavior. The bot can now identify optimal pass targets and intercept situationally. I don't know if I like that. I would rather have good marking, but then you have to manually switch to that player who might be marked well, but then you have to adjust that player. Do you want to be aggressive and try to intercept? Do you want to back off a little and then try to defend and jockey? But when you start letting AI do things such as interceptions, you promote choosing a player away from the defensive play and sort of just lingering, letting your AI win the ball. Or chasing the opponent around trying to make them run into your AI to win the ball. Instead, you should have to win the ball because defending is a skill, and that's how you, just like FC26 did it. But still, we will see how it goes. Maybe the AI won't be ridiculous, but they improved AI interceptions, basically. All right. Significantly reworked. Okay, we know that. Reworked defensive bot behavior. The bot can now identify optimal passes to intercept. That's what we just read. Reworked bot behavior in kickoff and penalty situations. Added logic for situational tactical preset switching during matches. Added logic for situational tactical preset switching during matches. Okay. Slightly reworked low bot difficulty levels to better match expected performance. Fix an issue with save direction selection for bot control keepers during penalties. Fix an issue where the bot would switch to a player behind the ball during pins. Fix an issue where the bot's defensive behavior wouldn't activate in specific in-game scenarios. Fix an issue where bot control players could run off the pitch during throw-ins. Fix an issue where they would switch during corners. And fix an issue with man marking target selection when the goalkeeper makes a save. Fix an issue with man marking a target selection. Man marking a target selection when the goalkeeper makes a save. And I don't know what's up there. Fixed aiming issues for bot shots in certain scenarios. Okay. Updated main menu. Premium access is no longer used. We know that. Updated Showdown menu. New ambassadors with signature celebrations. 20 new Japan national team players. So they added Japan national team. Cool. Improved quick substitute logic. Improved mud and dirt rendering on player kits. Fixed camera behavior in gameplay and replays. Fixed crowd reaction to dangerous shots. Oh no. Fixed missing sound in pre-match handshake scene. Fixed various bugs in replays and cutscenes. Added the 25-26 club kits for any of the licenses they had. Guys, I give this a score of 0.67. I give this a 67%, which when I went to school, that, my friends, is a high F, low D, whichever way you want to look at it. Dog crap game is not going to be fixed with this. I'm just telling you. Will it be improved? Quite possibly, right? But taking a turd and then sprucing it up, putting some makeup and lipstick on it, that will improve the turd, but it's still a turd. It's just an improved turd, a better looking turd. But a turd's a turd. So we will see how many players even come back after feeling ripped off from Strikers after they scrapped the skin system and the boosting system that players put so much time and effort into. A lot of players feel betrayed and are leaving. They feel like that was beyond the last straw. The ones who do come back, though, we'll see if they can generate enough buzz, and some newer players might like the game enough to stick around and keep this game on the map. But there's a good chance that this is the start of the end. That's just being honest. Until that time, though, I will be here helping all my fellow UFLers out, because I am an original, an OG UFLer. I mean, let's be honest. Releasing content, started my channel around this at the very beginning. Go back to my very first videos, UFL videos. Didn't know what I was doing. Nervous, shy. So, I love the fact that the game's not dead yet. And I hope somehow, some way, Strikers figures it out. But I still got to keep it real with you guys. Be hopeful, but also be realistic. Or you could also say, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And the worst would be the game shutting down. With that said, if this was helpful or you enjoyed the video, please smash that like button. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Tell your girlfriend, friends, wife, brothers, sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles, enemies. Tell everyone. We are the fastest growing football gaming channel in the world, and you need to join us now. We are all about helping each other reach our full potential, period. So if that resonates with you, if you like hearing all these unbiased updates, this channel's for you. You're definitely in the right spot, and we are happy that you are with us on this journey.